This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya, and Professor Mutahi Kahiga. This Sunday, we want to pose a question. Is Uhuru Kenyatta planning to inherit Raila's political base in Nyanza? And if he does, what is he planning to do with it? For starters, I think he enjoyed himself far too much during Raila's funeral at Nyayo Stadium. He talked for too long and said nothing memorable. His only eulogy to Baba was the Uji joke. He was even caught on camera dancing gleefully. Not because Raila had died, no, but because of the inheritance he saw ahead. In Bondo, Uhuru was better behaved. But even then, some of his gestures disrespected the sitting president. Do recall that this was a state funeral. It had military protocols. But Uhuru broke them with contempt, belittling Ruto. When it was his turn to lay a wreath on the grave of Baba Man, he did it his way. A military aide led him to the spot where he was to lay his wreath, next to Ruto's. But he waved the aide away. He did not want his wreath next to Ruto's. In fact, he took it to the extreme side of the grave. Total disrespect. But there is more. He visited Raila's grave twice to pray. It is on record. And the question is why?
We submit that Uhuru Kenyatta was executing a scheme. He wants to remove Ruto from office in 2027. And for the record, he has never accepted the fact that Ruto is now president. Here is the scheme. Uhuru is popular in the Luo Nation. And after Raila's death, Baba's base in Nyanza is up for grabs. For 100 years now, this base has been a captive market for the Odingas. If you romance this family, you have a chance of inheriting the base. And this is how we must read Uhuru's return to Baba's grave with the Kenyatta clan. He was romancing the family. If Uhuru inherits Raila in Nyanza, Project Matiang'i has a good chance of becoming president. With the Luos and the Kisiis coming together behind Matiang'i, Ruto will have a problem in 2027. And that is part of the scheme. The other part of the scheme has to do with Kikuyus. Uhuru wants to recapture his Gema support. If he has Gema behind him against Ruto, the Luos and the Kisiis, Project Matiang'i will become Uhuru's third term in 2027. Game over. But there is a problem. A certain political Casanova called Rigi has captured the anti-Ruto imagination in Gema. How does Uhuru wrestle the Kikuyus from Gachagua to complete his anti-Ruto scheme? This is where Mutahi Kahiga, the cantankerous primary school teacher, comes in. Allow us to explain.
People have called Mutahi Kahiga an emissary of Ruto. But is he? This man peed on the grave of the enigma himself. And he did it when our national wounds were still raw. Was this deliberate? Or is it possible that the man has a loose wire? And the loose wire is in his tongue? The other day, he told us that Maasais do not wear underwear. True or false is irrelevant. But he had to apologize to the Ma community for disrespecting their privacy. And so, it is possible that Kahiga has a loose tongue. However, was his insult on Raila deliberate? This question must be posed using two Latin words in law. The first is cui bono. Who benefits from Kahiga desecration of Raila's grave. The second is Qui Malo, which means who is harmed. For a fact, Kahiga did more harm to Gachagua than he knows. Rigi had called Raila a virus and a bacteria, the things that killed him from within. Then Kahiga kicked in and thanked God for killing Raila. Qui Malo, who did this harm? But who benefits from harming Gachagua? The beneficiary is the one who sent Kahiga, and the beneficiary is Uhuru. If he destroys Gachagua, he will take back the mountain, and with Gema, the Luo Nation, and the Kisses, he will make Matiang'i president in 2027. Take it or leave it.
But there is a twist here, and one that must be monitored by the Luo Nation. Uhuru visited Baba's grave 2 times. He was endearing himself to the Luo Nation. But deep inside, he was executing a scheme to inherit Raila. Then, to show his closeness with Babaman, he told us that they were drinking buddies. And that is the only eulogy he left for Raila. Uji, drinking buddies. Now you must ask a few questions. When Uhuru was president, what did he give the Luo Nation after the handshake? Nothing. But what did Ruto do? He worked tooth and nail to make Raila the AU president. But then he gave him ministers in government, and maybe Winnie Odinga will join government as a minister to honor her father. If Uhuru wants to inherit Raila and make Matiang'i his 3rd term in 2027, what is in it for the Luo Nation? Ruto is the man with the government right now, and he has been generous to the Luo Nation. Uhuru has nothing, just charm and promises. How can you trust a man who could not make Raila president when he had everything? We could be wrong, but Uhuru is a political code. As for Ruto, we will conclude with this. Uhuru does not mean you well. You must make no covenants with him, and you must show him no mercy, because he will show you none.